Tonight at 5:30, we're looking at your health and well-being, from heart health to weight loss to the importance of cleaning out that medicine cabinet. We're covering it all throughout the next 30 minutes. First up, the preventing of a stroke. According to the Centers for Disease Control, someone has a stroke every 40 seconds, and every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, someone dies from a stroke. WFMY News 2's Sydney Moore spoke with a Greensboro man who is in his 30s, and he learned what happened after his life was impacted after he had a stroke.
37-year-old Galen Sellers loves to fish.
I missed it. My biggest bass was, my biggest one so far was, 9 pounds. About like that big.
It's been a passion of his since he was 7 years old, watching his dad reel many in.
He actually could have went pro. So I looked up to him when he went fishing.
Fishing out on the water is what helps Sellers stay calm and stress-free.
I also teach my younger kids how to fish too.
He'd tell you being in a peaceful state is important for his body. At the beginning of the year, he had a minor stroke.
And I didn't realize I was having one. And I was talking to my wife, and she said, why don't you just walk around the table and maybe that numbness will get out your leg. And so I did that, and it went away, and I didn't think nothing of it.
2 weeks later in February, it happened again, but this time, much worse.
Both my legs went numb on me, and I tried to stand, I fell to the floor. Luckily, my wife was just coming down the road.
He says his wife knew something was wrong when she asked him on the phone what he wanted to eat, but he couldn't speak in full sentences.
Like my brain was scattered, and she knew something was wrong, so she hurried up and called the police for me.
Dr. Tony Devishwar, a neuroradiologist with Cone Health, says speech difficulties, comprehension difficulties, and facial drooping are symptoms of a stroke.
And depending on where the blockage is, it would depend on what the symptoms are. So in most people, they're right-handed, they're left brain dominant.
He says strokes impact people who are 50 to age 90, but they are also common in younger people and even hereditary to some degree.
We saw strokes in younger people, like 18 to the 30 age group. And we used to think this is something very fancy, some unusual, but you find out it's common.
My grandmother on my mom's side, she ended up ended up having a stroke at age 40. So I felt like that was kind of hereditary.
After the stroke, doctors told Sellers he had blood clots in his veins and head. They encouraged him to stop smoking to lower his risk of having another one.
I would go through a pack maybe every 4 days.
As for the road to recovery, it's now been about 2 months since Sellers had his last stroke.
It took me actually a minute because my hand, I lost 50% of the feeling in my hand.
He quit smoking and says he's eating healthy.
I still have trouble writing, grabbing a pencil, writing and stuff like that, but I practice every day, so it gets a lot better.
His plan is to stay on the healthy path so he can continue to show up and enjoy doing what he loves, fishing.
There are signs of a stroke that we should all be familiar with. Experts say the word is FAST. That's the easy way to remember it, to how to spot a stroke. F is for face drooping. If you're unsure that it's happening, you need to ask the person to smile and see if it's uneven. A is for arm weakness. Ask the person to raise both arms and look and see if one is drifting downward. S is for slurred speech, and T is for time. And this is the reason why if you see these signs, it is time to call 911. Don't wait to see if the symptoms stop. Every minute counts during a stroke. Getting help quickly can reduce brain damage and other complications as well. Well, right now, heart disease claims 1 in every 7 lives in the United States. And of that, 1 in every 3 women will die from heart complications. According to Cone Health, heart disease and stroke are among the leading causes of death and disability in our state. Cone Health's Heart Scan calcium test checks for calcium or plaque buildup in your coronary arteries. Calcified plaque may lead to a cardiac event such as a heart attack or indicate early coronary artery disease. Now, this test is recommended for people aged 40 to 75 who have a family history of heart disease, have abnormally high blood cholesterol levels, or have high blood pressure or diabetes. An important topic affecting many of us and our overall health and well-being is sugar management. Whether it's for prediabetes, diabetes, or just because you really need to watch your intake of sugar. If someone's blood sugar level is too high, they should drink more water. Dehydration causes blood sugar to raise, so they're managing their blood sugar. They want to make sure that they're drinking enough water throughout the day. You also want to exercise. Experts say as little as a 15-minute walk can help bring down those levels. On top of that, a healthy diet is also key when keeping your blood sugar under control.
You can see here on this plate, we've got a quarter of this plate filled with a source of lean protein. A quarter of this plate is filled with a complex carb, and in this case, it's a small baked potato. And then half of this plate is filled with some vegetables. So whenever we portion out our plates like this, it tends to help us have the best blood sugar control.
So what happens if your blood sugar drops too low? Well, experts recommend doing the 15-15 rule. That means you drink 15 grams of sugar, which is about a half a cup of juice or soda, and then you wait 15 minutes. Then you check your blood sugar, and if it's above 70, you can have a balanced snack that has a complex carb or protein. If levels are still low, you want to repeat that 15-15 process. All right, so now we're on to high blood pressure. It is often called the silent killer. It rarely causes symptoms until it is extremely high or it has already caused damage to the organs in your body. Lifestyle plays a vital role in treating high blood pressure. Controlling blood pressure with a heart-healthy lifestyle might prevent, delay, or reduce the need for any kind of medication. Well, steps that you can take include exercising regularly. Experts say to aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity each day. You should eat a diet rich in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy products. Also, you want to reduce the amount of salt that you're consuming. Experts also recommend limiting alcohol and managing your stress. More women over the age of 65 develop high blood pressure than men. Women are also at risk for high blood pressure during their reproductive years. Things such as stress and pregnancy can really increase that risk.
Parkinson's is a progressive neurological disorder, and the symptoms show up in a lot of different ways.
Coming up next, Parkinson's can hinder the way you move around, but a Greensboro man is stepping into action to prolong his mobility. We'll show you.